as of midnight tonight, just under half, I did back of the envelope calculations of just under half of Australia's population, all of Victoria, plus Greater Sydney, including the Blue Mountains, including the Central Coast, and also including Wollongong. That's just under half of Australia's population going into a lockdown because of the 78 locally acquired cases we've seen reported today, 65 in New South Wales. We'll dig into those in a second. 10 in Victoria, plus another 4 that have been reported through the day today that will be officially counted in tomorrow's charts. So we'll put them in the touchscreen tomorrow. But here's what that looks like in Victoria. So all of this from here through to here, that's the last outbreak in Victoria that sparked the last lockdown. This is the one that we're talking about now. So 10 today, 4 tomorrow, for a total of 18 cases in total across 2 separate clusters of virus with 2 separate index cases, both having come across the border from New South Wales. All of those 18 cases currently linked back to a known source. Not to say they all know each other. Some of them are, people who have been in the stands at the MCG, but at least that's believed to be where they caught the virus. So the cluster is contained in terms of epidemiological links. What the government's now doing is, again, another short lockdown. At least we hope it's a short lockdown to, buy some time to give you that insurance policy to, see if there have been any chains of transmission that haven't yet been identified, and if they turn up in the next couple of days and can be got on top of. That's the hope, at least. That's why we're seeing this once again.
Okay, now let's go to New South Wales, and the number of cases infectious in the community remains stubbornly high.
Yeah, it does. So the total number of infections today has come down from the last couple of days, 65 cases in total, and a good testing number as well, I should say. So that's down from where we were. What isn't down is this number of cases that were out in the community while infectious, up to 36. That includes some cases where the infectious status of the isolation status of those people is unknown. So up to 36 people who have potentially been out and about in the community. And I should just clarify, sometimes there's a bit of confusion about this term. Just because they were not isolated through their infectious period, it doesn't mean they've necessarily been all over the place. The city is still locked down. It may just be that they've been to the supermarket, they've been to a couple of essential stores. Hopefully that's all that they've been to. But nonetheless, that is the potential of having passed this virus on. So that's a key number we want to see come down to 0. The other thing that we're watching, Kirsten, is the breakdown of these cases across across different parts of Sydney, and we're still seeing most cases occurring in the Fairfield LGA and neighbouring local government areas. This outbreak is still centred on those parts of Sydney. We really want to see those numbers come down before they seed any outbreaks anywhere else in Sydney. Hopefully the surveillance testing of workers who have to leave the area will help with that. I also want to see the number of cases unlinked to a known source, or mystery cases if you like to call them that. They are predominantly occurring in Fairfield as well, and neighbouring LGAs to a lesser extent. We want to see that come down to 0 before you start to see the unknown chains of transmission taking off, because that's what's caused this big spike in Fairfield, is undetected transmission through the community. We've been playing catch up in Sydney in cases. That's one of the reasons that the curve was so steep all of a sudden at the beginning of the week. And if you can get on top of that, bring it back down to 0 before we see other outbreaks, you can nip this wave, if you like, if you want to call it that, in the bud before you get, from the first outbreak in Bondi to the second one in Fairfield, before you get a third one.